Okay, thank you guys for coming. My name's Justine Shelton, and this is Yoga for a Healthy Back at Yoga Vista Studio in Vista, California. And today we're doing a healthy back class, so we're going to start on our backs with our knees bent. Or if it's comfortable, sorry everyone, if it's comfortable you can lie flat. For some people lying flat is not comfortable at all. And if you have low back problems, sometimes sitting up is torture, especially if you haven't warmed up yet. So we'll start on our backs so that our spine is long and stable, and begin to check in with your body, just sort of scanning your body, noticing how you're feeling physically. Are there any achy parts? Any parts that feel stiff or tight? And then scanning your body again and noticing if there's anywhere that feels good and acknowledging that as well. We tend to always hone in on the negative. And then putting your attention on your breath. First, just watching the flow of the inhale and exhale. Noticing if it feels smooth or choppy, shallow or deep. And then beginning to slowly and progressively start deepening the inhale and consciously lengthening the exhale. Noticing if it's easy to deepen the breath or if it feels a little constricted. If you have any pain in your back, does deepening the breath intensify it or ease it? Just noticing. You can add that ujjayi breath when and if you feel to. That yogic breath with a slight constriction in the back of the throat. Almost like you're fogging up a mirror, only the mouth remains closed. And then notice that with the inhale, there's expansiveness in the body. You'll inhale and the chest rises. The deeper the breath comes in, the belly will rise too. We're going to start to use our core with the exhale. So initiating the exhale by gently drawing up the pelvic floor, and then drawing the belly in from the pubic bone to the belly button to the rib cage. Then as you inhale, soften the belly from the top down and relax the pelvic floor. And just continue with that cycle. Inhaling, allowing that expansiveness, exhaling, drawing up the pelvic floor and drawing the belly in and up. Practicing that core engagement here in stillness so it becomes more second nature as we're moving through the poses. And if you're not sure what I mean by drawing up the pelvic floor, it's like a Kegel exercise, or imagine that you're peeing and you need to stop the flow of urine. So it's a gentle lifting up. As we begin to move through the poses, keep coming back to that core engagement on the exhale. That'll help stabilize the pelvic lumbar rhythm and keep your low back safe. If the legs are extended, bend one leg and then the other. And we'll start by warming up the low back symmetrically. So lifting one leg, then the other, placing one hand on each knee, or if it's more comfortable, placing your hands behind your knees. Take an inhale with the knees and arms length away. Then as you exhale, draw up the pelvic floor, draw the belly in and up as you draw both knees into the chest. Hold them there for a few breaths. Notice if you're elevating your shoulders. It's very tempting in this pose. Try to keep the shoulder blades soft on the floor and let the arms do the work. As you inhale, move the knees and arms length away. And then as you exhale, draw up the pelvic floor, draw the belly in and up as you draw both knees into the chest. Inhaling, knees move away, belly softens. Exhaling, abs in as you draw both knees into the chest. Keeping the neck long so you don't roll onto the back of the head. Inhaling, knees move away, belly softens. Exhaling, abs in as you draw both knees into the chest. Inhaling, knees move away, belly softens. And then exhaling, drawing the knees into the chest. Now we're all going to switch our hands to hold behind the knees, and we're going to warm the hamstrings up a little bit. So as you inhale, extend both heels up towards the ceiling, drawing the toes towards your face. Exhale, abs in, draw both knees into the chest. Inhale, both heels go up, draw the toes towards your face, try to have the legs hip width apart. Then exhale, abs in as you draw both knees into the chest. Inhaling, heels go up. This time we're going to pause here. You can hold on to the legs. Point and flex your ankles a few times. And there goes the symphony of joints cracking. Now we're going to rotate the ankles a few times. And reverse that. Whoa. Then from here, press up like you have Barbie feet. So you're pressing up through the ball of your feet, and then make a fist with your toes as you come back. And then Barbie feet, and then fist. Barbie feet, fist, and then with your inhale, press up through the heels, and as you exhale, hug both knees into the chest. And then I'm going to give you an option here to either keep the knees hip width apart, which makes it a little challenging to breathe, or take the knees wider so that the knees are coming towards the outside of the rib cage. Just see what feels better to you today. And you might even rock a little bit from side to side if that feels good. Set one foot down and then the other. Come to lie flat on your back unless you know that will hurt you, just to take a little mental snapshot of how your low back feels. Once you have that mental snapshot, bend one leg and then the other, placing both feet flat on the floor. Open the knees to the outside with the soles of the feet together. And then if you're having active low back pain, bring the pubic bone towards the belly button. That'll stabilize your pelvis and your lumbar spine. Otherwise, today, let's allow the pelvis to relax. Taking a few breaths as though your lungs are down in your groin. And so that as you inhale, you're creating space throughout the torso. Try to soften your jaw and the skin on your face. And then from here, take an inhale. As you exhale, very slowly come 1/3 of the way together. Pause at the 1/3 point and your legs might shake, that's normal. Take another deep inhale. Exhale, slowly come to 2/3. And you'll notice as the knees come up, the pelvis tilts back with the movement of the hips. Now we're going to open up, so we're strengthening the muscles in a different way. So you'll take a deep inhale. Exhale, open by 1/3. Take another deep inhale. Exhale, open the rest of the way. Now from here, everyone bring the pubic bone towards the belly button just to stabilize the lumbar. Press the soles of the feet together, and then you could even place your hands on your inner thighs just for a little bit of resistance. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, keep pressing the feet together. Slowly bring the knees 1/3 of the way together. And pause there. It might feel like you're wrestling yourself. Take another deep inhale. Exhale, slowly come to 2/3. Good, then soften the pushing of the feet, relax the thighs, and as you inhale, open the knees back up. Allow the low back to relax. Unless it's sore, then keep the pubic bone towards the belly button. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, slowly come 1/4 of the way together, so you're barely moving. Take another deep inhale, exhaling slowly to 1/2. Another deep inhale, exhaling slowly to 3/4. And then last one, deep inhale, and as you exhale, slowly come the rest of the way together. Letting the feet rest flat. Then extend one leg and then the other. Again, unless you know that will hurt you. And just notice if that made any difference in how your low back feels. Feel free to ooh and ah if you noticed a difference. Yay! Okay, we're going to keep the left leg extended and press through the heel as though you're standing on the leg. Then you're going to draw that right knee into the chest. For some people, holding in front of the knee is too much compression on the knee, so you could hold behind the knee if that's the case. And play with the idea of having the knee in close to the rib cage and the chest, and then maybe take it more out to the side. Always feeling free to explore in your practice. Because we all have different bodies, and then I don't know about you, but my body is different from day to day, sometimes insanely. And then I'm not accusing you, but notice if your shoulders are lifting up towards your ears. Try to keep them relaxed. Release your hold on that leg. Keep the abs engaged, and we're going to draw slow circles with the right knee. Noticing if that's smooth or if there's a point along the way where you get a and then reversing that direction. This is good for getting circulation into the musculature around the hip, but also getting synovial fluid into the hip joint itself, which is like oiling the Tin Man. Now drawing that leg back in, extend the heel towards the ceiling, keep your abs engaged to protect your back, and you're going to point and flex the ankle as you lower that leg to the ground. Good. And then pause there for a moment, maybe even close your eyes and sense if there's any difference between each side, each leg and each side of your low back. Now we're going to keep the right leg extended, keeping it strong as though we're standing on it, and then draw the left knee into the chest. Trying to soften the shoulders, and then playing with maybe having the knee right in towards the rib cage, and then maybe taking it more to the outside of the torso. Generally speaking, we always start by drawing the right knee in because it massages the ascending colon. And now with the left leg in, this deep breathing is massaging the descending colon. Next time you're on Jeopardy, you can tell them that. Now release your hold on your knee, and this side might be totally different. Keep your abs engaged, and you're going to start to do slow circles with that knee. And it's normal to have asymmetry between each side. When you're ready, reverse that direction. Then bring that knee back into the chest. Extend the heel up. Keep your abs engaged to protect your back. And you're going to point and flex the ankle as you lower this leg to the ground. Oh, I feel much better. Hopefully both your legs feel equally long. And then when you're ready, we're going to bend one leg, then the other. Draw both knees into the chest. And then from there, slowly make your way to seated. You can either roll to one side and help yourself up, or roll forward and back and go wee as you come up. Okay. I'm a big fan of sitting on something. If you're sitting, especially if you have back problems and you do this kind of anterior rotation in your pelvis, it puts a huge load on the lumbar spine and the intervertebral discs. So always feel free to sit up on a block, a bolster, a blanket, a tailgate, anything that will help you keep the natural curves in your spine. Okay. And then we're going to try and get under the shoulder blades here. So we're going to bring our arms up like you're a cactus. Good. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together as much as you can keep the upper arm parallel to the floor, better. Exhale, pull the belly in, bring the elbows and palms to touch, and kind of puff out your upper back towards the back. Then inhaling, opening up, squeeze the shoulder blades together, lift the chest. Exhale, abs in, bringing the arms together in front. Then inhaling, opening up, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, coming forward. Pausing here. What I'd like you to do here is round your upper back a little bit and then direct the breath towards the back of the lungs. Lana, does that get in there? Good, good. Now with an inhale, open back up, sit up tall, draw the shoulder blades together, and then from here, imagine there's a wall behind you. You're going to slide your arms down the wall like you're trying to touch your elbows behind your back, but don't. Good. And then release. Roll the shoulders. Good. And then sometimes if there's rotator cuff injuries, this sort of movement is pretty precarious because the shoulder is a fairly shallow ball and socket joint. So to release tension, what we're going to do is squeeze. If we just pull a muscle, the muscle's job is to like, what we want to do is get circulation into it first and then go in for the stretch. So we're going to squeeze our right shoulder up like we're trying to crack a nut between our neck and our shoulder, because that's convenient. Try to make sure your jaw is soft, and then gently relax that, but allow it to totally relax. Now engage your pecs on that right side and draw that right shoulder forward. And it might, one or more of these positions might feel really awkward. And then relax. Then suppress that shoulder down. And it might feel really tight. This one's super tight on me. And then smile. And release. And now adduct that shoulder towards the spine. So you're drawing the shoulder blade, squeezing it close to the spine. Make sure your jaw's not helping you because it's not helping you. And then relax. Good. Then up, forward, down, back, up, forward, down, back. And now let it be more fluid, like you're doing a circle. And then we're going to take it backwards because that's just a little sassier. Good. Good. Then sitting up nice and tall. If you don't have rotator cuff injuries or you don't get pain when you do this, slide your hand, your right arm behind your back, the forearm. Roll that right shoulder down and back. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. And then exhale, bring your left ear towards your left shoulder. Good. But keep that left shoulder relaxed. Good. From here, you could move the head a little forward and then a little back, just noting if there's any muscles in here that feel tight. And for me, sometimes I even get tight up underneath my jaw. So when you bring your head back, you could even lift the chin slightly. And anywhere along that way, if you find a tight spot, feel free to stay there and breathe into it. Now line your left ear back up in line with the left shoulder and turn your chin towards your left armpit. Take an inhale, and then the next time you exhale, let the chin slowly slide into the middle of the chest. Release that right arm from behind your back. Then with an inhale, lift the head up. And just pause for a moment and see if you feel a difference between each side of your shoulder girdle and each side of your neck. Good. Anyone notice? Good. Okay. We're just going to do the one side tonight and we'll get, just kidding. Okay, sit up nice and tall. Squeeze the left shoulder up like you're trying to crack that nut again. Really squeezing, but don't let the jaw help you. And then relax. And then you're going to engage the pecs and draw that shoulder forward, protracting it. And relax. Then suppress it down. My trick here is to not let the other side help. And then relax. And then draw that left shoulder blade towards the spine. Good. Make sure you're not holding your breath. I usually know it because I'm doing it. That's how I figure it out. And then relax. Now we're going to go up, forward, down, back. Up, forward, down, back. And now let it get more circular. Good. And then reverse it. Good. Okay, now we're going to roll that left shoulder down and back. If it feels okay on your shoulder, you're going to slide your left forearm behind the small of your back. Roll the left shoulder down and back. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, bring the right ear towards the right shoulder. Maybe noticing, we tend to have a lot of asymmetry, especially in the shoulders, depending on our use. And then if you would like, you can start to explore moving the head slowly forward and back. Keep breathing into the tension as though the lung is sitting in the tension. Maybe even as your head comes back, lift your chin slightly. See if that releases any tension around the upper neck or jaw. Now lining that right ear up in line with the right shoulder. We're going to turn the chin towards the right armpit. And then do some gentle nodding of the head there. The next time the chin comes down, let it roll all the way into the middle of the chest. Release your left arm out from behind your back. And then with an inhale, lift the head up. And then exhale, turn your head towards the right, just to make sure we still can. Then inhale back to center, always lengthening through the crown of the head. Exhale, turn your head left. Good, then inhaling, coming forward. Good, then just a little bit of shaking the shoulders, doing some non-linear movement. Yay. Undulating, yes. Okay, and then just for some circulation in the elbows, after dislocating them, you want to keep the elbow's kind of an odd joint, so if you do this sort of motion, it's going to add more stress to the joint. So you want to keep the joint straight. And we'll add in some mind-body connection. So we'll open one finger, one knuckle at a time. So as you inhale, you're extending the elbows, extending the knuckles, extending the wrist. And then exhaling, bending one knuckle at a time, bending the elbows, bending the wrist. Any pain with that?
Yeah.
Then inhaling, opening up. You're getting pain too?
Yeah. In my thumb.
Okay, then stop the movement. It's probably originating from your shoulder. Good. Then inhaling, opening up. Pausing there. Then release, relax, roll the shoulders a few times. Okay. All right. From here, we're going to make our way over to all fours. You always have an option to put a blanket under your knees if you need to make the floor softer. And we'll set up for Chakravakasana, which is a flowy cat-cow. This one is good for getting circulation throughout the musculature of the spine, but also imbibing all the discs with fluid. Knees hip width apart, hands shoulder width apart. Spread the fingers wide so the whole hand takes the weight. And to begin with, pull the belly in and flatten the back. Take a couple breaths here, lengthening the spine. Then you're going to take an inhale. As you exhale, drop the chin, engage the abs as you round the low back. Release the elbows to the floor. And then the hips towards the heels, letting your neck relax at the bottom of the exhale. Then inhaling, drawing back on the palms as you come forward, curving the spine, imagining there's a light in the middle of the chest and you want it to shine forward. Then exhaling, taking it the other way, pulling the belly in, arching the back, dropping the chin, release the elbows and then the hips. Coming forward again on the inhale. To get into the shoulders a little bit more, draw the shoulder blades together. And then as you exhale and round, draw the shoulder blades sideways away from the spine. Coming forward again on the inhale. And then exhaling, abs in as you round and release back. Elbows and then hips. Coming forward again on the inhale. Then we're going to pause and come down onto our tummies. And if you have stenosis or osteoarthritis in your spine or a really deep lumbar curve, you could always have a blanket under your pelvis that just lengthens the low back. Otherwise, you're going to come onto your tummy. Then to stabilize the spine, press the pubic bone into the floor. Our hands are just decorative. We're going to have them rest under the shoulders. Bring the elbows in close to the rib cage and draw the shoulder blades together. If it's okay on your neck, rest on one ear. We're going to lift one leg at a time and do some knee therapy, and this is good for stretching the quads, Kristen. Okay, as you exhale completely, then inhale, you're going to lift up head, neck, and shoulders in the right leg. Exhale, bend the right knee. Inhale, straighten the right knee. Exhale, come down, maybe turning your head the other way. Inhaling, coming up with the left leg, head, neck, and shoulders. Exhale, bend the left knee. Inhale, straighten the left knee. Exhale, down, alternating which way you turn your head. Inhaling, coming up with the right leg, head, neck, and shoulders. Exhale, bend the right knee. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, down. Inhaling, coming up with the left leg, head, neck, and shoulders. Exhale, bend the left knee. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, down. Now we're going to reach our hands back and grab our bum. Draw the shoulder blades together as though you could almost touch your elbows behind your back, but don't. Then with an inhale, lift up head, neck, and shoulders in both legs, drawing the shoulder blades together. And then you don't want to have your neck do a right turn. You want to keep the chin tucked and keep the neck long. And then breathing here for strength and to sustain being able to stay here. Each inhale, think of lengthening from the crown of the head through the toes. And as you exhale, see if you can feel your core up against the floor. One more deep inhale. As you exhale, come down. Bring the hands, make a shelf with your hands for your forehead to rest on. We're just going to loosen the low back after that. Bend the knees, and this is like you're on the beach. And you're just going to slowly let the feet fall from side to side. If you get any pain with that, then stop. Good, then extend the legs. Bring the hands under the shoulders again. Engage your abs to help protect your low back. And you're going to press up to all fours. And then back to child's pose. You have the option to keep the knees hip width apart, but especially if you have disc damage in your low back, you want the low back as long as you can. So take the knees wide, toes touching. Let your torso come down between your thighs. You might want to make a shelf with your arms for your forehead to rest on. It might feel good to have the arms extended, but it might also feel good to have the arms back by your sides. We're doing this forward bend after the back bend to help bring the spine back to neutral. Now that you've been here a little bit, scan your body and notice if you're holding tension anywhere. For instance, I catch myself all the time gripping around my right knee from an old injury, and I don't need to anymore. Sometimes just bringing your attention to it allows it to release. With your mind's eye, bring your attention to the sacrum at the base of the spine, that triangle bone. And start to walk your attention up your low back, noticing if there's any tension around the lumbar vertebrae. And then continue on up, scanning your spine from the base up through the mid-back, through the upper back, even the neck, just noticing if those intrinsic deep muscles are holding tension. Then when you're ready, with an inhale, make your way to all fours. Tuck the toes under, keep the abs engaged, and you're going to walk the hands back and come into a standing forward bend. Now, if you have trouble getting up, you also have the option to bring one foot forward. Use that for stability as you come into that standing forward bend. Important to keep the knees bent a lot so that the pelvis tilts forward and the musculature of the low back takes the stretch much more than the hamstrings. You could grab the elbows and hang, just adding a little bit of traction to the spine. Check in with yourself and make sure your belly button's pulled to your spine. Otherwise, your low back is all by itself with no backup. We're going to bring one hand to each hip. We want to come up slowly, strengthening the spine. So you're going to draw the shoulder blades together. Inhale, lift the chest away from the belly, and come up with a nice long spine. Hands on your hips if you're dizzier than normal. Okay. Everyone doing okay? Okay. What we're going to do is a lateral bend. And there's a muscle kind of right here on each side that's deep and big and strong. And that one tends to, when it pulls together, it pulls the vertebra together in the lumbar spine. Compression equals pain. So we're going to stretch that muscle to give us more room for our discs and our nerves. But I'm going to give you the option to place a block between the far end of your thighs, preferably not right on your knee bone. What that will do will give us something to grip into. It keeps the knees and legs about hip width apart. And then that gripping helps strengthen the adductors, which are technically part of the core, the inner thighs. But it also helps us keep our alignment. So we want to imagine we're between two panes of glass, but there's plenty of air, so don't panic. And you can only tilt laterally. As soon as you do this, it's going to switch what's going on. Draw the shoulders down and back. If you have shoulder issues, you could keep your hands here. You could bring your hands behind your back. You could bring the arms all the way overhead and maybe even steeple mudra. Brenda, feel free to do like this, just so you don't annoy it. Okay, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, pull the belly in, tilt to your right. Inhale, let the breath help you up. Exhale, belly in, tilt to your left. Inhale to come up. Exhale, pull the belly in as you tilt right. Inhale up. Exhale, tilt left. Inhale up. Now we're going to come over and stay. Exhaling over, maybe releasing that right arm down for support. And then if you wanted to, you could extend the left arm and really engage the muscles, helping to increase the stretch further up into the rib cage and the upper side. Does that feel okay? Yeah. If you notice your breath getting really short, back out slightly. That's your body going, dude. And then don't move, don't do anything, but notice your feet. If the weight is even on all four corners of both feet, or if you're kind of shifting all the weight over to the left. Try to keep the weight even on the feet. Good. Now we're going to reach that left arm up, open and close the fist a few times. Imagine there's a rope there. You're going to grab your imaginary rope and with an inhale, pull yourself up. And then this is where we get to feel the difference. You could even close your eyes, take a couple deep breaths, and see if you feel taller on one side. I had to check. Just kidding. Okay, we're going to take that to the other side. So inhale tall, bring the hands maybe behind your head if that's where you had them. Exhale, abs in, you're going to tilt to the left. Maybe release that left arm down. And then maybe reach through the right hand if that feels okay on your shoulder. If you do that, don't just let your arm flop. You want to really engage the arm muscles. Deepen the breath. Lift the corners of your mouth. Yay. Good. And maybe notice if one side of your low back was tighter than the other. It's very common, especially in my back. Now I'm going to give you the option to raise that right arm up like you're trying to touch the ceiling. Open and close the fist a few times. And then imagine there's that rope, and as you inhale, you're going to pull yourself up. Then you can set your block off to one side. And we're going to do a forward bend to counter the lateral bend. So you could slide your hands down the back of your legs if you want to work a little bit more. You could have the arms out to the sides. Try to draw the shoulder blades together. Inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, we're really pulling in the abs. Bend the knees a lot as you come into that forward bend. Let the head hang, let the arms hang. And then breathe as though your lung is down in your low back. If you have a healthy low back, no disc damage or anything like that, you could work towards straightening the legs, but not if it causes the pelvis to roll backwards. Then your lumbar spine is hinging, in which case keep the bend in the knees. Then we're going to come back up with a long spine. You're going to reach the arms out, draw the shoulder blades together. Inhale, lift the chest away from the belly and come up with a nice long spine. Good. Okay, shake out your ankles. Okay. And from here, we're going to do a wide leg down dog. And let me just show you the movement with the shoulders before you come into it. So taking the legs wide just takes some of it. We're not meant to weight bear a lot on our arms. And so it takes some of the weight off our hands so that we can still do down dog. Have the feet either parallel to the outer edge of your mat, or if you have knee or balance issues, you want the heels wider than the toes. And then take a moment and watch my shoulders here. You're going to inhale tall. As you exhale, you'll come over halfway. Inhale, lengthen, and then exhale, come down. I'm going to just pull my hair up so you can actually see my shoulders. So from here, we don't want this. Can you see the compression around my shoulders and neck? You want weight on all four corners of your palms, and then you're going to broaden the shoulders and then sink the chest down. And if you don't quite reach the floor, you could be on your fingertips. You could be on a block. Okay, so hug the leg muscles in. Inhale, raise the arms out. Exhale, pull the belly in. You're going to come over halfway. Inhale, lengthen while you're here. Exhale, come all the way down. Take the hands, walk them forward. You want to have big old paws. Spread your fingers wide. Keep your hips in line with your heels. And then you're going to broaden the shoulders by externally rotating the upper arm and sinking the chest back. And then remember, I'm a nice person. But if you want to slightly intensify the stretch in the hamstrings, lift your tailbone up. Ooh, nobody even yelled at me. Now from here, walk your hands back over towards your left foot. And you're going to bend into that left leg so that you stretch the inner thigh on the right side. Then inhale, come back up. Take your time, and you're going to walk over towards the other side, bending into that right knee. Keep the outer of the edge of the left foot flat on the floor. Then inhale, come back up. Bring one hand to each knee, bend the knees a lot, and as you inhale, come up slowly with a nice long back. Now we're going to get into the hips a little bit more. So you're going to turn the toes out. And then you want to have a firm footing. Bend down, kind of wiggle back and forth, just getting a nice firm footing. There's a tendency in this pose to stick your butt out. You want to pull the belly in, tuck the tailbone. Maybe bend a little more. Maybe wish you had gone out to dinner. You can stay here. You could bring your arms up like this. If you do that, squeeze the shoulder blades together. You can stay here or pull your belly in strongly and come over parallel to the floor. And then notice the tendency to want to collapse here. Keep drawing the shoulder blades together and create space between the center of the chest and the belly button. Now try to keep your butt right where it is, and with an inhale, lift the torso. And then go, oh! And then straighten the legs, release the arms, heel toe together, and apologize to your hips. Good. Shake out your legs. Okay. We're going to do a little bit of balance. We're not going to do a full warrior three, but we're going to carry our weight on one leg. So take a step forward with your left foot, and you're going to spread the toes wide. Bring the weight onto that foot. Take the right toes behind you, and first just use them as a pointer. Try not to tilt the pelvis and try not to let it hang back. You want to keep, like you have little headlights on your hips, you want them shining forward. Bring the arms out to the side, draw the shoulder blades together. This might be enough, or you might lift that back foot up. Have a gazing point on the floor to help you. And you might come forward a little bit more. Keep the belly pulled in. And you can feel your ankle working to steady you. Then with an inhale, you're going to come up with the option to bring that right knee up and forward. This one reminds me of the Karate Kid every time. Yeah. And then set that foot down, shake out your standing leg. So balance poses are really good for the lateral stability in the hip. And what I like about that tree, it's very tempting, this sort of lateral displacement of the hip. It's harder to do that in this pose. So we're going to work on that again on the other side. So this time, the other foot comes forward, the right one. Spread your toes. Bring the weight onto that foot. And you're going to just toe tap behind you. Draw the shoulder blades together. That helps a lot with balance, keeping your core nice and strong. Keep the belly pulled in. Maybe stay there, maybe lift the back leg. Maybe come forward a little bit more. Keep the abs engaged, shoulders drawn together, and that gazing point on the floor. The other thing that helps a lot is a sense of humor, because every day balance is a little different. Can you feel your hips working? I can. Then when you're ready, bring that leg either back to the floor or into Karate Kid Part 2. Part 2. Good. And when you're ready, come out. Shake out your legs. Sherry, do this one slow. We're going to release the fascia in the ankle. It's fascinating. So you're going to kind of rest on the inner part of the big toe. You can put your hands on your hips because this one's kind of sassy. You're going to do circles like this. Yeah, you can get your hips involved. I mean, really. Does that feel okay, Sherry? It might be really good. And then when you're ready, we're going to take that to the other side. Coming onto that outer edge of the big toe and doing the big slow circle on that side. Okay, now both at the same time. Just kidding. Okay. All right, from here, stand nice and tall. So you can make any yoga pose really hard. And some of them are hard on their own. But this could be mountain, just standing here. Or axial extension, tucking the chin, hugging the leg muscles into the bone, pulling the belly in, slightly tucking the tailbone, drawing the shoulders down and back, and then hug the arm muscles in. And continue to breathe deep. And then notice places that you tend to have a lot of tension. For me, it's the shoulders might start creeping up. Try to keep the muscular integrity without going out of alignment or into old habits. Now take another inhale, lengthen. Exhale, abs in. You can slide your hands down the back of the legs. We're going to come into a forward bend. Then use your hands for support. We're going to make our way back down to all fours, just taking a moment to transition. It just allows the blood pressure to kind of catch up with you. And then make your way to seated. And feel free to make it a comfortable seat. I'm going to demonstrate what we're going to do. We're going to do a twist. Twists are very valuable to the spine. Excuse me. And to the internal organs. But they can also be risky if you have issues in your back. And I have issues, so there's certain times I can come nowhere near a twist. But when I found out what was wrong with my back, I completely cut twists out and my back got worse because the obliques attach all the way back here. And so those got tight, and that meant everything was getting more compressed in my spine. So what we're going to do, we'll go from side to side. I don't want to smudge the microphone. So we'll have our legs like this, glued together, parallel, so perpendicular to the floor, legs parallel to the floor, calves, sorry, arms out to the side. We'll inhale, let the knees go over only so far as we can keep the opposite shoulder tacked down. Exhale, squeeze back to center. We'll do that a few times to each side, And then what I'm going to invite you to do is let the knees come all the way over. Let the other shoulder do whatever it needs to. Then you can start to work the other shoulder down. And if you have low back issues, you can limit the rotation by using blankets or a bolster. And that will limit the rotation in the lumbar spine so that you're still getting a twist and the benefits without putting too much load on the lumbar spine. Once we're in the twist, we're going to do something for the shoulders. And Jim, I think this might really help you. You'll be looking that way, arm down, palm flat. As you inhale, you're going to slide the arm along the ground. As it comes up by your head, your nose will go towards the ceiling. And then you'll exhale, let it slide back down. If there's any pain points in there, feel free to pause, or the arm might need to come up off the ground, depending on your shoulder girdle and what's going on. So never push through pain, okay? Go ahead and come onto your backs. Hug both knees into the chest just to be nice to yourself. Okay, so when you're ready, bring your thighs perpendicular to the floor, glue them together, and have your calves parallel to the floor. Arms are out to the sides at 90 degrees, palm up. If that hurts your shoulder, you're going to go palm down less than 90 degrees. Inhale, you're going to let the knees go over to the right as you look to the left. Exhale, squeeze the abs, come back to center. Inhale, knees go to the left, your head turns to the right, only so far as you can keep that shoulder pinned down. Exhale, squeeze the abs, come back to center. We're flossing our lumbar spine. Inhale, knees go right, head goes left. Exhale, squeeze back to center. Inhale, knees go left, head goes right. Exhale, squeeze to center. Inhale, knees go right, head goes left. Exhale, squeeze to center. Inhale, knees go left, head goes right. Exhale, squeeze to center. Now this time you're going to let the knees come all the way down. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, this time let the knees go down. Let the opposite shoulder do whatever it needs to do. And then when you're ready, you're going to open that top shoulder back out to the side. If the arm's hanging out in midair, you can place a blanket or a bolster under it, or you can always let your left hand rest on your rib cage. Do a few rounds of breathing where you're really engaging your abs from the bottom up. That will add to the compression on the internal organs. In this sense, it's a good compression, just kind of squeezing out the old. And now we're going to start with that left arm palm down by your side. You're looking to the left. Inhale, slide the arm along the ground. As it comes up, your nose will end up going towards the ceiling. Exhale, slide it back down. Head ends up turning to the left. Just a couple more times. Inhaling, opening back up. Exhaling, rolling down. Inhaling, sliding it back up. Exhaling, sliding down. Good. Now from here, we're going to bring that arm back up so that it's out at 90 degrees. Palm up if that does not bother your shoulder. And then I'm going to invite you to explore here. Traditionally, we turn the head away from the knees, but sometimes you get a better stretch turning your head towards the knees, so you get that opening across the left shoulder and chest. It's just preference. Always feel free to explore in your own practice and do what feels best to you. Do 3 more rounds of breath here. Really engaging the abs, even drawing up the pelvic floor to initiate the exhale, and then pulling the belly in from the bottom up. Then when you're ready, if your low back is sore, bring your knees closer to your right elbow. And then engage the abs, and as you inhale, come back up to center. Hug your knees into your chest. When in doubt, hug your knees into your chest. It's just kind to the spine. And now we're going to take that to the second side. So bringing the knees back up to that 90-degree angle. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, you're going to let the knees go over to the left. Let the shoulder do whatever it needs to do, the right shoulder. And then you're going to work towards opening that right shoulder back up. And it's normal for one side to be very different. So if, like on this side, my hip is a little tighter, so my leg is popping up, I could always place a bolster in between my legs just so my leg's not in midair. When your body's in midair, proprioception won't turn off, like where your body is in space. And that means you can't truly relax. A few rounds of those breaths where you're really pulling the belly in from the ground up. Then we're going to bring that right arm palm down by our side, head is turned to the right. As you inhale, you're going to slide the arm along the ground like a snow angel. Arm comes up alongside the ear, nose points up, and then as you exhale, you're going to slide it back down and turn your head to the right. Inhaling, sliding up, maybe noticing if this side is more or less comfortable. Exhaling, rolling down. And then inhaling, rolling up. Exhaling, rolling down. Good, now bringing that arm back out to that 90-degree, palm up if that's okay on your shoulder. And then trying this side, does it feel better to look away from the knees towards that right hand? Or maybe it feels better to take the head the other way. Doing a few rounds of breath here, really pulling the belly in on the exhale. When you're ready, if your low back is sore, bring your knees closer to your left elbow, remove any prop, and engage the abs, and you're going to come back up. Hug both knees in. And then inhale, move the knees and arms length away. Exhale, abs in as you draw the knees into the chest. Inhaling, moving away. Exhaling to the chest. One more time like that. Inhaling away. Exhaling, knees to chest. Good. Now set the left foot on the floor. Extend the right ankle towards the right heel towards the ceiling. Interlace your fingers behind the far end of the thigh, above the knee but close to it. Press up strongly through the heel. We're going to draw that leg towards you, just keeping it straight until you feel a pretty good stretch. Then push the leg into your hands. And then relax. Draw the leg towards you. Then press it straight and push into your hands. We're getting the hamstrings we're tricking them to open a little. Then keep it straight, draw it towards you. Notice if it comes any closer. And then press up through the heel, get the leg straight, press into your hands. And then draw the leg towards you. Keeping it straight, noticing if that allowed any deeper stretch. Then from here, press up through the heel. You can bring the leg so that it's perpendicular to the floor. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, turn the toes out, but move from the hip. We're going to warm the piriformis up before we stretch it. Then inhale back to neutral. Exhale, externally rotate. Inhale to neutral. Exhale, externally rotate the hip, the toes point right. Keep that rotation as you place your left ankle on your right thigh. And then keep the right ankle flexed to protect your knee. We're going to take our right hand and just kind of push the right knee away and let it bounce back. Just to kind of get some circulation into the piriformis, which is the muscle adjacent to the sciatic nerve. So we want to keep that one happy. Now from here, you might be already getting a good stretch in that outer right hip, in which case you can stay there. Or take an inhale. As you exhale, pull the belly in, lift the left knee up. You're going to reach between the legs with the right hand and hold behind the left thigh or in front of the left shin. And from here, you could even press, not hard, but a little bit of pushing into that right inner thigh to increase the stretch in the outer right hip. Try to soften the jaw and the shoulders. And then from here, press your tailbone down and move your left knee 3 inches to the left. And now don't move, but just notice if your shoulders are relaxed or if they're kind of scooching up by your ears. Try to keep them relaxed and let the arms work like levers. And if that doesn't work, you could always place something on the floor like a bolster or a block and set your foot on that. When you're ready, slowly set the left foot back down and then the right. And just pause for a moment and see if you feel a difference between each hip. Hopefully you can still feel both hips. Just saying. Okay, if your low back is cranky, hug both knees in. And then we're going to keep the left leg in and set the right foot flat on the floor. Extend the left heel up towards the ceiling. Press up through the heel. That'll get the quadriceps to engage so that in theory the hamstrings will relax. And then you're going to interlace your fingers towards the far end of the base of the thigh or hamstring. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, press your leg into that hand. And then relax and draw it towards you. Good. Press up through the heel, get it straight, get the leg straight. Press the back of the leg into you. Keep the leg straight as you draw it towards you again. Just notice if that buys you any more space. And then you're going to take the leg a little bit away from you, press up through the heel, press the back of the leg into you. And relax. Now hook that leg behind your ear. Just kidding. Bless you. Notice if that caused a little bit more opening in the hamstring. Then we're going to take the leg back perpendicular-ish to the floor. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, turn the left toes out, having that motion start at the hip. Inhale back to neutral. Exhale, externally rotate. Inhale to neutral. Exhale, externally rotate. Hold that for a moment. And then you're going to take that left ankle onto your right thigh. Keep the ankle flexed to protect your knee. And then we'll do that gentle kind of push the knee away and let it bounce back. Okay, if you're already getting a good stretch, feel free to stay here. Otherwise, engage the abs. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, you're going to lift that right knee up. Reach between the legs with the left hand and hold either behind the thigh or in front of the shin. If you have knee issues, sometimes this holding in front of the shin can be way too much on the knee joint. So don't feel like you have to hold in front. Try to soften the shoulders. Press the tailbone down. That gets the origin of the muscle we're stretching. And then from here, move that right knee 3 inches to the right. I'm a little tighter on this side. And then you might even use the breath almost like it's a flashlight, as though you could inhale all the way down into that left hip. Just exploring, and as you exhale, release and let go of any tension. And then I'm not accusing you, but notice if you're clenching your teeth or you're gripping around your eyes. Try to remain soft where you don't need to have effort. Take one more deep inhale as though your lung is in that left hip. And when you're ready, keep the abs engaged as you slowly lower the right foot to the floor, and then the left. And then guess what? We're gonna hug both knees into the chest. Give it a little hug, maybe rock from side to side or forward and back. And then from here, I think you've earned Shavasana. Yay, that final resting pose. So traditionally it's done flat on your back, feet slightly spread, palms up. But if you have low back pain, that sometimes can be the worst thing you could ever do. So you can always place pillows or a bolster under your knees. That'll soften the low back. If you have a deeper cervical curve, it might feel good to have a blanket under your head. Oh. Calming the body often and relaxing the body is often somewhat easy to do. Calming the mind might not be as easy. I just want to offer to put a bolster under your knees. Yeah. Here we go. Perfect. Comfy, yeah. Bring your attention to the crown of your head. And just imagine your entire scalp completely relaxing, like it's melting. Soften the skin on the forehead and around the eyes. Allow the eyes to feel like they're just sinking, completely relaxed in the sockets. Softness at each of your temples. Your tongue soft in your mouth. Right jaw relaxed. Left jaw relaxed. All 4 sides of the inside of your throat smooth. Bringing your attention down both arms to the palm of each hand. allowing both hands to completely relax. All your effort is done. Imagine a little cave inside your heart that you can retreat into, letting the outside world drift deeper away. And accepting this opportunity to rest deeply and allow the magic of yoga to happen. Bring your attention down both arms to the palm of each hand. Just noting your hands as radiant sensation. Touching the pad of the thumb alternately to the pad of each finger. And then slowly beginning to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Gently bringing life back to the body. And then slowly deepening the breath. And when you feel ready, gently draw one knee into the chest and then the other. Moving with a reverence for your body, gently roll to one side, curling up in the fetal position. Moving from the corpse pose back to the birth pose, symbolizing a new beginning. And with the gentleness you would lift a brand new baby, help to lift your brand new self back to a seated position. Maybe taking a moment to notice how your body feels, how your mind feels compared to when we first began. Bring your left hand to your heart and your right hand on top of your left, and gently bow to yourself. Acknowledging your amazing body, honoring the effort of your practice, and honoring the light inside each one of us. Thank you all for your beautiful presence. Namaste.